This is the Independent Dealer Podcast. Education by dealers for dealers. Now, here are your hosts, Luke Godwin and Jeff Watson.
Hello and welcome to this episode of the Independent Dealer Podcast, brought to you by Buckeye Dealer Management Risk Service Esquire.
Come on, Jeff. His risk services. Buckeye has changed their name, and they're focusing more on everybody, not just dealers, Jeff.
Yeah, well, they do it all.
They do it all.
Yeah,
They do.
it's not just dealers, it's insurance for many industries. So, of course, check out Buckeye. But more importantly, we are here with this episode of our How I Built This series with Mr. Shay Phillips out of
West Virginia, West by God, Virginia.
So my grandfather would never say West Virginia without saying by God.
You have to.
So I got a question. How'd that start? Do you know?
That's a great question. I have no idea. I just know the country road song. That's our anthem.
That John.
We just
Hill.
do it anyways.
That's right. That's
Holy
right.
shit.
John Hill.
Except when he sings country roads, he's not.
That's true. It is exactly how it
Well,
operates
those
out
Rocky
there.
Mountains aren't very rocky.
Not really.
So, Shay, tell us, how'd you get into the industry? Where'd you start? Give us your backstory. And we're going to go through the whole arc of kind of the cool experience you've had with your father and kind of getting
Sure.
into the industry and everything.
Well, to steal a line from Tracy Myers, I got my PhD. I had a dealership.
Yeah.
You know? Now I went to Marshall University, got a business degree, graduated class of 05, go Thundering Herd.
Marshall's in West Virginia for those out there that don't know.
Yeah, I'm in Mountaineer country, but I'm a Thunder. I bleed green. So, got my degree, came home. Of course, growing up, everybody said you're gonna work for your dad. You know, I said no, I'm gonna do my own thing. You know, and he let me come for a summer. He said just try it for a summer between school, see if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it. And it's okay. So I
18 years later.
18 years later, here I am. And what I found was I'm not a car guy. You know, we weren't car people when I was growing up. My dad was a banker. He was a banker for 12 years. He got out of banking when he went through 2 mergers, but at the end of his career there, he was in the dealer finance program where he had the dealers in the area bought paper through his bank. And he was getting really tired of the changes. He was venting to one of his dealers one day who had a Chevy dealership. And he said, you need to go into the car business. And my dad said, I don't know anything about cars.
Famous last words of a fool.
Famous last word. Yeah, exactly. And he said, look, you know people, you know finance, you know how to help people. It's not really about the car, it's about helping people. And my dad took that pretty seriously. And he had 2 car payments. He had a mortgage, a wife and 2 kids, not a lot of money in the bank. It was a big risk. And after a couple conversations, this dealer said, look, if you go out and you don't make it, if you fail, you have a standing offer to be my finance manager at my dealership. So dad said, safety net. Here we go. Let's do it. So he got a business partner. They went in together. And 30 years later, we're rocking and rolling.
Wow, that's safety nets are great, but the entrepreneurial spirit of going, you know what? I know nothing about the car business.
No, nothing.
He knows people.
Yeah.
He knows finance, and that's the key to the car business.
Wow. Sales is everything, right?
Sales is everything.
Sales is
And
everything.
and if you know how to make the financial part of it work, and you can get people to like you, you can sell anything.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Ice to Eskimos, right?
Yeah.
So you were young at the time. Did you work in the dealership as a teenager?
I was 12 when he opened it.
Okay.
So, not then.
Okay.
I did wash cars, $1 a car.
Okay, good.
To detail. We'll wash them and just kind of split them up. Did that as a teenager. He wanted me to go out and get my hands dirty. So I took a job, summer job at the local DOH. Was supposed to be weed eating.
What is a DOH?
Department of Highways.
Oh, okay.
And did that for a summer. I was supposed to be weeding out in the hot sun.
Your dad's tough, man.
Oh yeah, he said you got to go work. And I was supposed to be out in the sun weed eating, and I ended up getting lucky. I got a job inside sweeping the warehouse out of the sun. So that was kind of nice. You know, I kind of sold him on that idea.
Yeah.
But did that. I was a waiter. He wanted me to have that experience of interacting with people on a professional level. So I was a waiter. That was a great experience.
Yeah.
Introduction into the car business because you're selling people on yourself to get those tips.
Yeah.
So that was a great start.
What's interesting though is because I have a PhD. I have a GPhD. Grandpapa had a dealership, so I go three generations back. And your dad went the opposite way, maybe because he wasn't a car dealer, but every car dealer I know that's ever existed, and when their parents have one, is you were forced to be in the dealership.
Yeah,
you didn't go to work somewhere else. You worked for the dealership. Now, some people would send them off to other dealerships to work, and then bring them back in.
Yeah.
But that he made you to do that other, that builds a well-rounded person, right?
Yeah, I feel like it did. And it prepared me when I came into the dealership for my career after school. He started me in finance in the F&I department because he said, if you understand the finance side of it and what people deal with their credit, when you go over to the sales side, you'll understand how to help people better.
It's interesting.
So where y'all are buy here, pay here now?
We're
Retail only. So
Yes.
I should have asked that a long time ago. Nice. So you
Yeah.
went straight to what he knew.
Yeah.
The finance.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's interesting because you think that you would do the opposite. You bring somebody to
Yeah,
sales and you put them in finance.
Right.
Well, I attribute going into finance first, helping me in the sales side. So what we then did is we kind of modeled the hiring process after that. Is we would hire someone for finance, and we would bring them into finance. They would learn that side of the business, and when they transferred over to sales, they were really able to help people because they understood what they were going through, their credit, how to explain to them the situation that
They understood how to match a customer with a bank,
Yes.
right? A lot of
Yes.
it is matching the funding source with the customer
Yes.
and knowing where those pieces fit. So
And
when you know
where-
the funding sources, you kind of know where to guide them on the car, the
Yeah.
payment.
And a lot of salesmen make a mistake by putting them in a car first,
right.
and that creates all kind of problems.
Yeah,
Right.
because they fall in love with something that's $800 a month and
That they can't afford. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they had that understanding of like, okay, now I can kind of show them what's in their range because I understand how rates and terms work and credit. It just was really a great model for success.
So when you join the dealership, you're in the finance side. What's the size and the scale of it when you got involved?
That was in 2007. We had one other salesman working there. At the time he was doing the sales and finance, brought me into finance. We were selling about 20 cars a month at that point.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then from that point, you've now moved, I imagine, through multiple departments. You went from finance to sales. Where are you at now, or what other progression did you have at the dealership?
Well, he brought me into finance. I was commission only because he said I don't want any special treatment for family. So it was commission. I went into
So
sales.
that sounds like
That's a
car
dad.
dealership.
Yeah.
That's a dad. And then when I went to sales, I was straight commission. And it was basically like, you want to make more money, you need some more cars. And up until about 5 or 6 years ago, I then went into management. And we brought in, we now have 3 salespeople, an F&I person starting next Monday. We moved the other F&I person into sales this past year.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of manage the business. We have a full service department that is only for our customers.
Yeah,
We cut
yeah.
out any outside
Oh, wow. As a retail dealer.
as a retail dealer.
Okay.
We give away a lot of money doing that.
Yeah.
But the way we look at it, we're so customer focused, we want our customers taken care of. And if they buy a car from us today, 6 months from now they need work, I have to wait 3 or 4 weeks for an appointment. That's not fair to them. So we've cut out all outside work. We just work on what we sell and our customers.
Yeah. And you have an internal rate or like a customer rate or
Yeah.
something, or are you comparable with a retail shop across the street?
It's a
Or-
lot cheaper.
A lot cheaper. Okay.
Yeah, I think the average hourly rate in our area now is around 120. I think ours is only about 80, 85.
Wow. But it's accessible. They can call you and get an appointment within a couple days.
Yeah, they're pretty quick. Yeah.
And do you want the service department to be a profit center, or are you just doing it?
We don't
to
look
be
at
nice.
we don't look at it as a profit center. I mean, we make a little bit off of it, I'm sure, in the big picture, but we
Yeah.
don't look at it as that's a source of income for us.
It's just
more
customer retention.
it's just customer retention. Yeah, and they
Interesting.
come back.
So speaking of those cars in West Virginia, what type of vehicle are you selling there? Do you target a specific market?
A lot of 4-wheel drives,
Okay.
a lot of all-wheel drive SUVs, third row SUVs, trucks.
Yeah.
They
Any
love their
Silverado you
trucks.
can get your hands on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
My customers love their
Replace the
trucks.
transmission first, then
Yeah. Right. He's got a shop. Do it now, do it
Exactly,
later. You can still
exactly.
do it anyways.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. That's great, man.
Go ahead.
Well, talk to me about the marketing side of it. Like, I don't know the scale or size of where you
Yeah,
live.
how many cars are y'all selling now?
but how
We're selling about 40 now a month. So,
Okay.
and actually we're in a growth spurt, some growing pains because we have a service department that has 3 bays. We are
Oh
in the,
my, yeah, I know why you only do the people you have, because your
Yeah.
service car is not big enough. Okay.
well, we're in the process right now. It should be open here in a few months. We're building a 7-bay service center,
Wow.
offsite. We're going to
Offsite.
do it where we are. We have about an
Oh,
acre
great.
where we are.
Okay.
And once that's open, we'll be able to hire more techs, get them in even quicker than we have been here lately. So
You don't have to charge more than $80 an hour then, just to
maybe.
let you know.
maybe not, maybe not. We want to keep it cheap for our customers. So we'll see what happens.
That is so interesting. So talk to me about the marketing side of it, like being around for so long and being in the community.
Mhm.
Do you feel like are you like a brand in the community? Do you have to do a lot of outbound advertising, marketing, Facebook, things like that? Or is it all kind of repeat referral?
We do, for the first 20 years, we were repeat referral with one little ad in the local paper.
Penny shopper.
Yeah. And actually what we would do with that ad toward the end of our newspaper era is we would take that ad, it was on the front page, and we would flip it upside down. And that would force people to look at it, and then they had to flip it upside down to read it. Well, it drove the newspaper company crazy because they said, people keep calling our company saying that we're screwing up your ad.
That's pretty funny.
Can you please flip it back up the correct way? And I said, no, we're going to leave it right.
Yeah, you want my money? My ad's upside down.
Absolutely. So we had the mentality from advertising, and I've always been a marketing, just always enjoyed the marketing side of the business.
Okay.
And to be different. I look around what other dealers do. I want to be different. So I stand out. So then about 10 years ago, we got into radio, and we hired a marketing company. They wrote our ads. We fired them after about a year and a half because we thought we were more creative and had more fun with it. We wanted to brand us, our personalities. So we're kind of known as Sid and Shay, the dealer for you. And we've done
that as Sid?
He said, yeah.
Okay.
Yep, he said. And we've done that for about 10 years. And
You have a jingle?
we don't have a jingle.
Like a banjo. We would have a banjo.
Yeah. And Shay.
We can maybe work on that.
Yeah.
Will you play it for us?
No.
No, you don't.
Everybody just turned the podcast off.
Yeah, you don't
Luke's singing this stuff.
Speaking or playing any instruments, that's a bad idea.
Yeah. So, when you came back after college, you go into finance. How'd that first month or two go? Like, was it a hard training process to figure out the finance side? Because I mean, you were fresh. You're a green pig.
Very fresh. The first year, technically, I guess I did do a little bit of selling. We opened a second location in a nearby town, and I was trained in the finance side, but I was also having to help sell a little bit. And after a year, we closed that location because
I want everybody to listen to this. They closed their second location.
Yeah.
Okay.
We did.
There we go.
All right. Interesting choice.
And I don't have a desire to have another.
Smart guy. This is a smart guy.
I've got enough to manage where we're at right now, so we're pretty happy with it.
What other things have you ran into in that transition? You know, opening a location, closing a location. Any other hurdles or hiccups you feel like you learned along the way?
Honest, not to worry about what other dealers are doing.
Oh man,
I
that's
think
sage
that-
advice here.
I think that a lot of dealers look around and they say, look at that guy selling a lot of cars, or I want to do what that guy's doing. You know, my philosophy is I want to look around and do the opposite of what everybody's doing, because that's how you're going to stand out.
Interesting.
And I feel like, and we're in a very small town, so I think a lot of dealers kind of are in that role of they do the same thing over and over again. You know, fall into your new vehicle sales event or whatever in the fall, and it's like kind of same as lane.
Yeah.
So we try to do something just completely different. We try to flip it on its head and stand out, be different, and have a lot of fun. Our social medias, we do a lot of videos, a lot of TikToks.
Are you the one doing that?
Mostly, yeah.
Okay.
We get our staff involved.
Okay.
You know, they kind of call me the Michael Scott of the dealership
Yeah.
because I'll come in with this crazy, stupid idea, and they're like, "Oh,
Now you have to execute on it.
Have
Yes.
you seen the show on Netflix, Tires?
Yes,
Yeah. It's kind of like that first episode's hard to watch because what they're doing. But anyway,
I agree. I saw that.
It's funny.
Absolutely.
But you're the one physically filming them, editing them, posting them.
Do it all right here on my phone.
Oh wow,
Yep.
that's great.
Yep.
Look at that.
And what? I mean, do you have a marketing degree?
He just has a TikTok degree. It's all that matters.
Just
man.
TikTok,
You just gotta know what's popular.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're too old for the app.
Yeah,
But
I
he's
don't
young
know.
enough to
I'm not
actually. They let him download it.
There you go.
You're blocked.
I may
Thank you.
lie about my age on there.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jeff.
But no, I did. When I went into college, I wanted to go into journalism first. I wanted to write, and I saw what all went into journalism, and I ran from that. And then I wanted to get a marketing degree because I've always had a passion for just creating. And my dad said, "Well, if you get a business management degree, it kind of opens up. You could do marketing, you could do accounting, you could do a lot of different things. You're more well-rounded with that." So I did that, but I've always had a passion for the marketing side of the business. Yeah, really.
Who handles the buying at your location? You do?
Yeah.
Okay. So marketing,
Yep.
Yeah.
buying,
TikTok videos.
Managing.
managing.
Yeah.
And how many employees do you have currently?
We're hiring a new one, so we're going to be at 12.
Okay.
Resident banjo player.
Yes.
Yeah, jingle writer.
Yeah.
That's a lot of hats you're wearing.
Is your dad still involved?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He comes in every day. Sometimes he comes in a little later and leaves a little early, but he's there every day. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like me. See, when you get old, this is what you do, Jeff.
Yeah, coming a little. Speaking of hats, though, what does that one mean?
Okay. Funny
Just
story
for
about
everyone
this.
watching.
So the name of
Here
our
on
business
YouTube.
is Number One Auto. Okay. And number one. So yeah. So one, just it's kind of the brand I've created, the shirt, the hat, just to give it a look.
That's a good looking
People
shirt. I
recognize-
like that.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
One
Yeah.
auto show.
Yeah. Show up in the beginning of the phone book.
There you go.
Are y'all on like Highway 1?
We're right on the main, so it's a very small town, about 5,000 people.
Okay.
There is a 2-lane drag that goes right through town, and then there's a 4-lane road that intersects it. We're about a quarter of a mile from that intersection on the 2-lane. We're right in town.
You've always been at the same location.
Yeah, same location.
That's
We've
not
been-
mine.
Yep, right beside Burger King and Buchanan. That's and a radio ad. We always say.
One of the few left. So where do you see the future going? Like, what's your plan for the dealership? Where do you guys see yourself in a year, 2 year, 3 year? Like, where are you headed? We know you're building a service center.
It's funny you say that because my ambition used to be, I want to sell 100 cars a month. I want to sell 100 cars a month. I want to be that dealer. And as we've grown and I've experienced the growing pains, I don't want to manage a business that sells 100 cars a month. I think it'd be too stressful, especially in a community like the size of ours. I'm comfortable where we are. I'd like to get to 60 to 80. That would be a nice spot.
Okay.
Can't do that the way we're set up right now with logistically with our service department. So we're going to grow that. I think we can get to 60 a month within a year and a half, I think, with our marketing.
And
Once that's open.
yeah, we've always thought about it. The biggest thing that limits most car dealers is capacity, recon capacity, right?
Yeah.
Or cash.
Mm.
And, in a retail position, the cash problem is not going to be like it is in the buy your pay here. So recon capacity, you can't do it with 3-person shop.
No, you can't.
No.
No.
And I mean, I always had this, a 5,000 person town. How can you sell 40 cars a month? Number one. And I mean, how can you figure out how to sell 80 cars a month when there's only 5,000 people in your town?
Well, there's 5,000 people in the town, but if you go out about an hour and 15-minute drive from us, you can hit 100,000 people.
Mm.
So we market to those areas as well.
So you're bringing them in from
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah, we are.
Okay.
Makes a lot of sense. I mean, in those areas where, maybe you're the closest thing, even an hour and a half away is still, reasonable.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's new car dealers in your town, right?
There are two franchise dealers in our town.
Okay. And how many retail do they sell a month, do you think?
I honestly don't know. I've never
Right.
looked. I've never
Yeah,
looked.
because you don't care about what everybody else is doing.
Don't care. Wish them the best of luck, but I'm focused on us.
That's
It's funny
good.
because there used to be a little dealer out the road from us, and someone would come in and they would say, "Hey, do you see what so-and-so's got up on the road?" I said, look what they have.
Yeah.
I don't worry about what I got. I can't control what they have. And you talked about mission statement in your talk this morning, and I thought it was interesting. Our mission statement, we keep it really simple. It's just we help people.
We help people.
We help people.
Yeah.
And when our sales staff they get a little off course or something, we talk about we help people, and,
Yeah.
and we go back to that. And they're fantastic at what they do. They have bought into the culture we've created, and we're out here, learning as much as we can. I don't have a single thing to worry about with those folks back.
It's great.
That is great. I mean, big part of my speech this morning was on culture. And when you have that culture, you can do exactly what you're talking about.
Mhm.
That mission statement, I want to know, because I had this asked after class, how do you develop a mission statement? And I gave the guy an answer. Number one, I would start, with AI.
Yeah.
That's where I would start. I would talk about how, what I feel like our dealership should be. And then I would put that into AI and it would probably spit something out. How'd you come up with it?
I try to keep things as simple and as simple as possible. And I honestly, I wrote a lot of stuff down. I had complicated things written out, and I'm like, it's simple. If we come back to helping people, the car sales takes care of itself. The service department takes care of itself. We have happy customers. If you focus on just that, everything else will fall into place. And if you keep it simple, everybody understands it. Everybody's on board with it. You can complicate it, but I like to keep things simple.
Yeah.
So let's talk about back-end products in the retail space. What's your best selling product? What all do you sell?
Well, we have Buckeye.
They're a sponsor.
Hey, I didn't know that. So which Buckeye? The new one or the old one?
Risk
Both.
Services.
Risk
Buckeye
Services.
Risk
Okay.
Services.
You use them both. Okay.
Yeah, we do. They're fantastic. That would be our best. We also offer gap insurance.
But what kind of VSC or service contract are you selling on most cars?
24, 24, and 36, 36.
Okay.
Mostly. Yeah.
What type of penetration do you see on retail deals? And are all the banks accepting that? I mean, do you have to sometimes use other products or?
We do a lot with credit acceptance, and they kind of have their own product. They're getting, they're, I can tell they're really doing a good job of listening to their dealers and letting us start to use our own product now,
Wow.
which I think is a really,
I did not
great
know that.
thing. Yeah.
Well, we're hoping that credit acceptance might be a sponsor.
There you go.
So they let you fill your Buckeye service contract on their car.
They're slowly coming
Wow.
out with that. Yeah.
Okay.
It's on certain tiers. They'll let you do that. So
Interesting.
Cool. That's fairly new. So
Yeah.
we haven't done all of it. Yeah.
And what does your penetration look like? Are you at 50%, 60%, 80% of your deals?
I would say I look at non-CAC deals because that's like I said, it's fairly new. I would say 50.
Okay.
I would say 50. Gap's a little tough because if you have the big down payment, their LTV's not.
So you're getting big down payments?
Some.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you subprime or prime focused?
About 50% prime, 50% subprime.
Yeah.
We
Makes
tried
sense
that
with some CAC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Imagine in that that world that you live in.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is. It's a lot of, subprime, prime.
It's a
bit.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a real mixed bag. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What is you're here in Vegas at the convention. What's the one thing you came out here? You know what? I really need to try to solve X. What is it?
This is probably the first year I didn't come out here with something I wanted to look for because we've done that the last few years. If I had to pick one thing, it was to learn a little more about AI and how it can help your business because everything seems like it's going to, and as much as I'm kind of an old school, I don't like AI as much, but I know it's going to, if I don't keep up with it, we're going to be left behind. So that's a big thing.
We've heard that from a lot of dealers.
Yeah.
I mean, that is really, for the last 2 years, it's been a real focus in the dealership world. Are you using any AI currently in your dealership?
Not really. No, I mean, we use ChatGPT for information purposes. Look
Just-
things up.
Just instead of Googling, you're going to chat now.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
Captions for videos, SEO to make sure they're SEO
Yeah.
compliant, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, we do some of that kind of thing.
What do you use the chat for, Jeff?
Chat specifically.
Or just AI in general? Sorry.
Oh, just marketing stuff. Yeah, like you do. Marketing ideas, videos. We do it like our Facebook ads are all filtered. The backgrounds are created. Actually, the entire ad is created by AI just by getting the right template and the right prompt. So we didn't have to go out and take photos anymore, right? Mm-hmm. Or you can take a photo and completely edit the background out of it, add text, things like that. So that's for the most part. Then obviously we have a little bit of integration with our CRM right now where it's starting to respond to leads and set appointments, which has been really cool. So really looking forward to the next year or two where that becomes larger and I can have my BDC agent completely AI or my vehicle buying agent that's buying cars off the street is just a complete virtual AI buyer that's just buying cars, virtually.
It's crazy what
Yeah.
It really is.
We're about to go to Expo here in a little bit, and we'll probably learn some more about some AI products in there. I'm using it in the accounting side because I'm doing all the back end accounting on our side, and I've been able to use it to help me with spreadsheets and all kinds of things. So, I mean, 3 dealers using it in 3 different ways.
Yeah.
When you can eliminate a person, that's going to be the big deal, right?
Yeah. Or make people more efficient.
It makes me more efficient is what I would say. What are you using it for? To make myself more efficient.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, that's my focus too.
Your salesman, your collector, your service writer, like all those people will be made more efficient by integrating it somehow.
So in theory, you're able to, instead of hiring new people, you're just making the people you have more efficient.
Yeah. I mean, I took an install manual the other day for a project I'm doing on my own, and I uploaded the manual to AI, and then I started asking it questions about the install manual, and it filled in all the blanks because it was a pretty crappy install manual, right?
Yeah.
Those come from some of the manufacturers pretty thin. So it would go out and reference the internet and find videos and find schematics and put up wiring diagrams that filled out this, so I think our mechanics are going to be using it, to diagnose tough problems, to help, it's got a lot of options for everyone, not just, your guy that wants to make a funny cat video to put on TikTok,
like Jeff.
I think your mechanics will be using it to figure out tough problems. That'll be wild.
That's a game changer there.
Yeah.
And who knew where we'd be now? Who knows where we're going to be in 5 years? I mean,
I think our mind's going to be blown.
Well, it's always a little slower than we thought. I really thought this time 2 years ago, I thought it would be a lot more, but it's coming. It's just, it's never quite as quick as they say it is.
Yeah.
So Jeff sells, Teslas and EVs. Is that any part of the product in West Virginia right now?
none. No, we don't sell any EVs. There's a charging station about 12 miles from us. That's the closest.
Covered in cobwebs.
Covered in cobwebs. A lot of travelers passing through. I mean, there are some EVs in our town, just not very many. It's just not taken off yet. So.
Yeah.
It's funny how you found pockets in the US.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So to put a pin in this and where you see this going in the future, do you have a certain market that you think is going to be hotter in the future? Like you still think subprime is going to be good? And with that, what type of a vehicle do you find available for those people? Because I know it's harder and harder for me to find an affordable car, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even something that'll make the CIC model work.
It is.
It's really hard. After I buy it, recon it, get it in here, there's no margin for me to do a CAC deal because the discount's so huge.
Yeah.
I struggle with those, but and finding a decent truck that's affordable, not right.
Especially if it's CAC.
Yeah. So where are you finding success and where are you focusing your efforts on those?
Oh, if we can control the trade-in value, sometimes if someone's trading their vehicle back in, if we can get a little bit of margin there. That helps some.
Yeah.
That and buying off the street, we try to do that some. You can do that as well.
What have you found successful doing that buying off the street? Because a lot of dealers ask us about that. Is there something you figured out?
We don't really put it out there much. People seem to just kind of come in. It's kind of funny how that is.
That small town model.
We don't do it. We buy car, but they come find us and they say, hey, we thought you might want to buy this, and we buy it, and then they'll tell their friends, and just kind of spreads like wildfire. So. Yeah, we really haven't put a lot of effort into trying to buy them. They just kind of come to us, which is
great. Yeah, man. Cool.
Yeah.
Shay, thank you so much, man.
My pleasure.
It's great getting to know you
guys. Appreciate it.
Hope everyone enjoyed the episode, and we'll talk to you next week.
Thank you for listening. Please leave us a review. We'll catch you in the next episode.